something very sensitive for me, kind of right now as I'm going through this experience, right? And everything that I feel, I want to be clear. I feel as though it is an experience, right? So it's been what, 3 years or 4 years actually, that I've been celibate. And I feel as though, and be clear, my mindset right now, because I'm still figuring things out, may change. But I feel as though the topic of today, let me be clear, is about self-sabotaging, okay? And for those of you guys who don't know, bear with me. I had a glass of champagne and then a shot of Patron, okay? So I'm a little bit tipsy for this video. But I wanted to speak on something that I'm feeling, and I'm feeling really heavy. And I don't know if it's because of the holidays or if it's because of what I need to be dealing with. I don't know. I won't know until the holidays really pass, to be honest. But, excuse me, I woke up today and I realized I have no problems. Like, my life right now has no drama. And it's very difficult, okay, because most of my life was always about overcoming challenges, overcoming different levels of pain. And today I wake up and I realize, okay, girl, you ain't got no other issues besides Christmas shopping and getting your ass to work, right? And that's not even an issue, to be honest with you. And that's a bit strange, okay, for me. Now, I've worked very hard to get in this spot to where all of my needs are met. And when I say that, I mean that to be certain, right? Um, if I was to look at the next 5 years of my life, all I would be doing is upgrading from where I'm at now, right? But for the most part, well, I mean, for everything, really, I do not have any sort of piece of drama in my life, okay? And so for those of you who are like, oh, well, that's such a good thing, yada, yada, yada. In my mind, I thought so too. But here I am at a place of no drama, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do with my life? Like, I know it sounds crazy for the average person, and I'm certain that this is a mindset that I have to work through, right? Because I've never been in a position, I'm going to keep it real, where I didn't have a level of anxiety or frustration or um like, I don't know, I feel like my whole life, like, if I really had to look at it, right, I was either dealing with anxiety from getting a spanking, right, from a young age, or now when I look on things, it's like, yo, I've been going through a hell of a lot of shit my whole life. And I think what happens, and I'm glad I'm more aware of myself now than I was, let's say, 10 years ago, right? Is when my life seems to be no problems, I get bored mentally. I may not know that I'm like, be fully aware that I'm bored at the time, but I almost feel like myself finds a way to create a problem. Does that make sense? Like, all day today, I've been sitting like, dang, because the first thing I did when I woke up was, whoa, I have no problems. And that was a real thought. Normally, I'm waking up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I got this I need to handle. I got this I need to handle. And my mind is constantly running, whether people know it or not. It's constantly running to provide solutions. So now that all the solutions, and I'm not saying that I won't, you know, accrue anymore. I say problems, but we say those in parentheses because we all know that problems are not really problems. But once my problems, to be honest with you, because I have no problems, my brain is like, what the fuck, dude? Like, real talk, you guys. My life is now been reset to the point where all I need to do is get up and go to work. All I need to do is get up and go to work. Like, there is nothing else that I'm stressing about. Like, my everything else, I don't know how to explain it. I don't think I've ever been in the position that I'm in. I take that back. Maybe at 22, I was in a similar position and I really didn't know how to deal with my problems the way that I do now. Um, so I don't even know if that's a good example, but I feel like when I was 22, I had moved back on my own. I had no problems, but I found a way to create a problem, if that makes sense. And I'm almost like I said, I never had an opportunity to determine or figure this out. But I will say that I'm in a space now where it's like, damn, I have no drama. I've got action. I've got no drama. And I feel like my spirit, right, likes in some degree, because of how my spirit is trained. It's trained to overcome struggle, overcome challenges, right? And I've been dealing with this for so long that when I don't, sorry y'all, when I don't have struggles or problems, it almost freaks me out. So it's almost like my mind needs to find something else to have a problem with or to struggle with or whatever. But I'm going to tell you guys now, this is the first time in God knows how long that I've really waken up where everything is taken care of and I really can sit back and just be like, huh, what's my next phase? What's the next step? Right? And what I've noticed is I'm in a weird space because once I get to that point, I start to seek other things, right? Like things that can cause me problems, right? So my biggest right now today, not if you're looking at me over the course of the last 4 years, you guys, but today I have been really feeling down about um certain situations that I normally could care less about. And it's weird to me because in my mind, I feel like my body is, this is the thing. I feel like we have habits, right? When your body is feeling a certain way, when your mind is thinking a certain way, we naturally have habits that our body seems to go to. So if you can imagine the kind of mindset that I had today, hopefully I don't have it tomorrow, but I don't know. Um, was very in a depressive, like, y'all, I wanted to cry all day. I wanted to, like, my head was racing about shit that, again, if you ask me in my normal state of mind, I wouldn't care about necessarily. I learn from it, I draw from it, but I don't care about. Today, my mind was caring about things that I feel like, again, if I didn't wake up with the real, like literally, it was like a light bulb that turned on. It was like, hey, you have no problems today. Like, if you can imagine an alarm clock going off, right? Because I've been having these crazy ass dreams. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, if I told y'all what my dreams were recently, and they're only as of recently, they've been picking up in action, all this type of jazz, right? So much so, to believe it or not, I went to jail in my dream. I didn't go to jail, but I was accused. I mean, I say accused because I never actually saw myself do the act. I just kind of went into the dream, and now I'm being wanted for something that I don't know that I could actually do unless I'm being forced to do it. You know what I mean? So I've been having some crazy ass dreams. When I say crazy, I mean crazy, to the point where the other day I had a dream I was on my way to prison, and not like behind the cop car. Like, my dreams are very weird. So I never actually have the consequence, but it's like I did something that would have landed me in prison for the rest of my life. Okay, let's put it that way. So if you can imagine, I wouldn't call it a nightmare, but it felt very like I was panicking because I thought I was going, like, I was about to spend the rest of my life in prison type shit. Like, it was weird. And I've been having very vivid dreams, right? Very vivid dreams. And I'm almost certain that the dreams and what the fuck I could be thinking about early in the morning, I think they all come to play, right? So this morning, out of all mornings, this morning at 5 something in the morning, I woke up, and in my brain, like, my mind automatically went to, hey, you have no problems. And that was a thought that I remember, because it was that, I don't know if my spirit just knows that I just been going through shit my whole life. I don't know, but it was a very vivid thought. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So here I am, and I have this thought, and in my mind, I'm like, oh crap. Because I'm starting to really dissect the thought. Like, do I really not have no problems? And I'm going through my problem decks, and I'm realizing you ain't got no problems. It's nothing but the ground. It's literally, the sky is the limit for me right now. And it's obvious it's the limit. It's not even a question, right? And I think internally, because I'm so used to going through struggle, my mind wants to create a problem that does not exist, right? So my biggest problem today was feeling as though I'm not good enough, right? Because I'm comparing myself to what I see on social media, and I'm questioning if I'm good enough, right? If there is something wrong with me, like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I not supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, and to be truthful, this is my thing. I know that when I'm over a relationship or whatever, I'm able to go look back at their page, right? I told myself, don't do it because you're not fully ready to look at that person's page. But I did, because my mind is seeking to create a problem that doesn't exist, right? But in my back of my mind, I'm like, nah, it's been so many years. You should be over this shit, right? And I need to keep challenging myself that way, because honestly, obviously, I did this, the circumstances surrounding this relationship really hurt me. And it hurt me in a way that I just haven't been able to shake. And there are goals and dreams that I want to accomplish, but I can't necessarily accomplish them because my heart is still attached to the outcome. of the situation. Let's be real, and I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. What woman wants to feel like, you know what, I was with this individual? Like, if I really had to go back and rewind the clock, right? I know that there are certain instances that have occurred that are non justifiable. Like, if I tell you what I went through in this relationship, the average person will be like, girl, get the fuck out. Right. And I know that, like, deep down, I know this person, I know the individual that I'm dealing with. And I know that realistically, there's no way, unless this person significantly, and really it's not a significant change, but there are certain aspects about the person that if they didn't change, it would never work long term for me, because I am not the girl. Like I said, I'm really not the girl that you think you're going to call out of my name and then I'm going to be sleeping with you tomorrow. Like, I don't have the patience for disrespect. Okay? That's really what it is. And so, no matter what the circumstances may be, as many times as I was disrespected and openly disrespected, like I said, anybody around me would agree that the circumstances that I experienced were disrespect. A part of my mind still can't understand why this man has now had a baby. Considering marriage, first of all, I don't want no baby out of wedlock. So again, these are things that don't really align with me, right? And where I feel like I've matured to, but mentally, my mind doesn't understand how a man, you could give a man everything. And I literally went into this relationship. It was crazy because I know y'all gonna say this is the wrong thing, but realistically, my heart was with somebody completely else, right? And I had known that person for about 7 or 8 years, right? I only cut him off at the time that I really cut off all of my friends. So this was at, just 2 or 3 years ago. Well, I'll say 3 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. And I knew this person could never be for me, right? It would never work. But this person had a level of loyalty about them that I respected, right? And I appreciated, because I didn't have that level of loyalty from anyone. And so essentially, when I had gotten in this relationship, my mind was, well, maybe one day we'll work it out. Maybe someday. Like, that's been, I don't know. I don't know why my mind thinks like that. But I'm friends with this person. So keep in mind, I'm in a relationship, but I'm still friends with a man that I thought that, well, I don't know that I loved, but I cared about. Like, we were really good friends. And when I was in the worst of the worst circumstances, real talk, that person was always there for me. The problem though was they were able to be there for me at my lowest because they were always at their lowest, right? And I didn't realize that until I got older and I got to know them better or whatever. So it was never going to work between this person and I get into this next relationship, but in my mind, I'm like hoping this person would get their shit together, because the biggest thing with me, you guys, is that I don't know that I've not dated men that weren't ready for commitment as much as I dated men that didn't have their own personal shit together. Does that make sense? So if you don't have a house, you don't got a car, you struggling yourself, and or I meet you while you're living off a female and she's providing for you, right? Because y'all already know how that shit goes. It's very difficult to build a solid foundational relationship with people like that, because their heart may be one way, but they cannot give to you the way that they really want to or should be able to. So if you can imagine, when I met my ex was very much in the same boat. The difference was, I mean, he had leveled up, he had money in his bank account, yada yada, but he didn't have his own place, right? He didn't have his own place. He was roommating with someone else. And in like he had stuff that I wouldn't have known after so many months, but didn't have he had his own car, but just real, I'm not going to go into really talking about the dynamics of the relationship, but let's put it this way: the man was not stable, he did not have his own. And so for a woman who is building and or understands stability, it was very hard to maintain that relationship with this individual, because they really genuinely, again, it had nothing to do with me, but maybe it did, I don't know. um but they really didn't have their life together, if that makes sense. So we go through this experiment of a relationship, and I find out that I'm not happy. But keep in mind, I'm very much in a similar position, right? I always believe you attract where you're at. So the type of man I attracted because of where I was at, right? And when I look back on the situation, I am not that same person anymore. Like, I'm nowhere near that same person anymore. So that type of man that met me in that space, I may or may not be attractive to him anymore, right? Because now I'm more wiser. Now I understand the game. Now I have a career. Now I have things that really make men go, hmm. And hang on, y'all. I'm about to put this on. Sorry, y'all. So I went through a lot of these experiences, right? And I went through them in a completely different phase than I'm in right now. Okay. And now it's harder because I am a woman who carries myself of a certain stature. And I have standards. I have obligations that require me to have standards, right? It sucks because it makes me wonder if I sometimes it makes me wonder if I made a mistake. And I don't know that I did, right? I don't know that my thought process is even real. I just know that this is where I'm at right now, right? And understanding that I know for a fact that my mind cannot handle not solving problems. My personality type is results oriented, meaning that when the results have been produced, what then do I focus on, right? Where do I place my energy? And so today, what I'm trying to say, and I could have said it in a nutshell, is I've had a lot of misplaced energy, misplaced feelings, feelings that feel one way, but if I was to ask myself tomorrow, or well, I don't know about tomorrow because how I feel is really like I feel really down. Um, and I say I don't know because I get into these states. Well, I haven't in a while, but I can get into states that are very depressive, right? And um I'm really hoping that this is not a situation that I cannot control when it comes to my self-sabotaging. For me to be upset about or wondering about my value and my self-worth right now is crazy. Okay, it's very crazy. Okay, because I got a dollar amount attached to my self worth. No, 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 I'm lying. It's because I worked really hard to be the person that I am. Like I worked hard. Like I recognize that who I am now would have never met any of the people that I'd known. But if you guys can imagine, that's probably the most loneliest phase of my life is really understanding that I completely changed my life. Like, completely. So the people that I used to associate with, I would no longer. It's like if I was to go back to them now, I would only be fulfilled about 10%. Right? And I say that not because they're not great people, it's just because we're in different places. And what I did, I didn't realize how far I came up because now my mind is like, well, damn, I done left quite a few people behind. And I don't know that that was the intention. Does that make sense? And so now my head, I'm having this battle between my head and my heart because I'm like, well, damn, if you was just a little bit more patient, you could have had this. But then I'm thinking, well, is patience really the thing? Because I'm a certain age and I should be a certain place by that age. So how much of it was patience? See, because I still excel above everybody that I in my mind that I be thinking about. So deep down inside, does that make sense? This is why this is self-sabotage. And I know it's deep down, that's what I feel. That's what my intuition is telling me is that because I am not used to waking up literally in peace. When I say peace, my bills are paid. I have no issues there. I have no issues with other people, really. Not the people that matter. Like people, I don't even have issues with people, really. I don't have any level of drama in my life where my mind can sit and compute and think, and I don't have that shit. So in because I've been dealing with it for so long, my mind is trying to find problems. And I'm not saying that maybe I haven't fully healed, right? That's the reality of it. I know that. But it was never an issue. My lack of healing was never an issue until I had no issue. You see what I'm saying? 3 years I've been going around with the mindset that I have, and now all of a sudden today I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. So I'm going through a level of because I'm aware of it, I don't believe that I will allow myself to stay stuck for so long. Already today, I made sure that I went and took care of some of my Christmas shoppings because I just know I'm limited on time. So I went to go handle some of my Christmas shopping. Um, but yeah, y'all, I'm at a point where I know that either this is where therapy would come in, or I need to write, or whatever. I need to do whatever to get what I'm feeling out and be honest with myself 1000%. because this is the space where, again, if you asked me 10 years ago, I would not have recognized the space that I'm in. But I'm very much in the space of, if I allow it to continue, I could genuinely self sabotage everything that I have for no reason. So, this is me, my little diary ish, but this is me kind of talking through where I'm at right now. I've been in and out of tears all day. Just really upset, really frustrated, really confused, but also telling myself, despite all those feelings, girl, what the fuck are you stressing about? Because, like I said, I know that I made decisions that led me to a level of success that I would have never seen. And then you know, it's very hard to justify why I should be making those decisions that held me back, right? But my heart, right? You go back to heart, and it's like, dang, is this the difference what they're saying about materialistic shit and love? But the problem was, hell, I had a fucking roommate. It's not like it's not like I'm living in a mansion somewhere. Right? I just needed to get to my shit together enough to be on my own and do what I need to do for me. So realistically, I know that I did not find the person for me, right? I didn't. But because my mind is not used to no problems, literally, when I really think about it, I'm like, dang, every year I had a problem. Even if it was something as simple as, man, you need your own place, right? Like, I've dealt with problems, I feel like, since I was young. And every year there was some major problem that I had to overcome or challenge. Here I am. I worked very hard to get to this point because it was intentional. It's not like I got to this point just because, by happenstance, right? Here I am at this point, and I'm like, what the fuck? What do I do now? Like, and I'm not where I want to be. Like, in terms of career and finance and income and materialistic things, like, that's a whole other thing. Like, I can physically control that shit. But in terms of like my love life and friendships and family ships and all those things, it's like, do I really, like, what do I do? It's like I got rid of the problem, but damn, I got rid of a lot of people. Let's put so I wake up, I don't have no girlfriend drama, and I'm starting to wonder, like, even if I had a girlfriend, right? If I had a homegirl, right, and she was going through drama, would I start living through her drama? Like, I just be wondering. So I'm very aware of where I'm at in my life, right? And I'm very grateful for where I'm at. But Lord knows I need to be able to get used to where I'm at, because the vision that I have for myself, where I'm at, only continues to get better. So if you mean to tell me that, and I almost, this is my thing, when I look back on certain decisions that I've made in my life, my past relationships, right? I look at these things and I'm thinking, dang, I made a lot of decisions out of simply being bored, simply just not having anything to do. And here I am back at that. Like, obviously, I got work, right? I got things that I have to take care of, but those things are taken care of and they're pretty easy to take care of. So then what? What's the next challenge? That is literally how my mind is wired. So again, I recognize this about myself. I've had the most difficult day today. Just like I said, in terms of my self-worth, because my mind is not solving a problem, so it feels like, okay, well, what are we doing? Like, I feel stuck. I feel like, am I gonna be in this spot forever? That's how peaceful it is. I don't know how to explain it. And I know for the average mind, you're like, well, if it's peaceful, why aren't you chilling? But that's the problem, is it's a bit too peaceful. So I got some things I need to work on. And I wonder how much of that has showed up in my relationships and my just everyday walk of life. Of even today, I noticed I went to work and I was kind of PO'd, but low key, I had the right to be PO'd because people ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. That's just the reality of it. Um, but normally it doesn't bother me. Today it bothered me. Like, it bothered me. And I kept chopping it up to the fact that, girl, you just trying to find a problem out of nothing. Even though it is a problem, it's really not my problem, right? But because I have nothing else to do, my mind is like, no, you got to create a problem. So that's that self-sabotaging stuff. And I'm realizing, especially if not for now, I'm realizing just how much I self-sabotaged in the past, right? Because these are old habits. It's an old habit. It's not a new habit. It's an old habit. Anytime I didn't have peace, it makes me wonder, how many times did my mind, and again, for a Pisces and for me, it's more of a distraction. That's where the problem comes in, is when there's a distraction. So how many times did I purposely put a distraction in my way just to have something to compute and solve? Makes me wonder, y'all. Like I said, I need a therapist. That's where I feel like a therapist would be able to come in and help really solidify that. But I'm also self-aware to know, yo, today ain't the same as it was yesterday. I could be feeling, and I think that's part of it, is because I could be happy and joyful. Believe it or not, I hold my level of joy for a very long time. So days will go by and I'm super bubbly, I'm super happy, and that's just me. I haven't felt like this until today. And I feel like my spirit intentionally saw a method to put myself in this feeling today. Meaning that what was blocked should have stayed blocked. What's happening on the other side really is none of my business. It is not. But because my spirit does not really understand peace, it had to go seeking some sort of level of chaos in order for me to feel comfortable. But it was weird because I knew that if I had made the decision that I was going to be feeling like how I've been feeling, but I couldn't help but to put myself in that position. So, what I experienced today, and I say self sabotage until my self tells me something otherwise, but I do believe that if I wasn't aware of what I had been feeling, right? If I wasn't aware of my feelings every day, right? And knowing the work that I've done to ensure that I've eliminated all problems, right? I would not be aware that I was attempting to find something to be upset about, and or to feel challenged by, and or to feel like I have to overcome. So that's been my space today. I went shopping, y'all, because it's Christmas, and I had a couple things on that Christmas list. Listen, my daughter ain't getting her Christmas presents until my Christmas presents are already paid for. So today it was very important for me to buy my Christmas presents, which, I like them. Okay. I ended up getting me, and I told you guys my biggest Christmas gifts this year, and I always shop for myself, so it's not like I don't be shopping for myself. But this year, every year I do two pieces of fine jewelry, right? And it was very important because, as you guys know, I moved, right? I've got things I need to do with my car. Like, I've had some pretty big expenses this year. My goal this year was to ensure that I could maintain my quality of life, right? Which means that that includes everything that I buy myself, right? From makeup to everything else, because I'm paying such a high price out of pocket all the time, right? I'm spending a lot more money than I'm used to, okay? And this year, those big ticket items, and honestly, y'all, it's crazy to me because as much money as I spend, you would think that these are non big ticket items, but they are. This year I bought me my favorite perfume is absolutely blooming. So far anyway, I like several perfumes, but I love absolutely blooming. One, how it smells. I don't like the initial smell when it comes out the bottle because it kind of smells like an old lady to me. But when I wear it, it blends in with the oils of my skin. Like, it just smells so good. And the one thing about that Dior perfume is that it lasts. I've got other Dior perfumes. I've got other perfumes. I've got Marc Jacobs. I've got Gucci. I've got other ones. Gucci is a really good smelling one too, depending on which one you get. I love Gucci perfume too. I just haven't invested in Gucci perfume the way that I have Dior. Like, Dior is like my signature thing, Miss Dior, right? And I had bought a I think 2 Christmases ago, I bought a bottle of perfume. It lasted me like the full year. But when I was ready to go buy it again, they told me it was going to cost me like 200 bucks or something like that, y'all. So in my mind, I was like, oh no, I can't afford to justify. See, the thing is about the justification of it all. If I can justify why I bought it, then I'll buy it. If I cannot justify that amount, for that particular purchase, I will not buy it. So I believe it was like 260. I don't know what they were telling me, but it was pretty steep. I'm not spending no $300. I'm not there yet, y'all. I'm not spending $300 on a perfume just randomly because I need some perfume, right? Certain things I will wait until it makes sense to buy it. One, because I get it cheaper, right? So buying the perfume now is cheaper than what it would be if I didn't buy it right now. Um, because I really believe I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think that perfume is almost about 300 bucks. I think you're looking at closer to 260, not 200. You understand me? So because if I really look at it, I just got almost $100 off. Almost. I spent, yeah, almost. Not close, not quite. So when I buy stuff like that, just like my jewelry, now 3 years ago, I bought jewelry. Well, I lied. Every year I buy for Christmas, I've made it a point over the course of the last 4 years to buy me a piece of jewelry, right? And I'm not buying it from Rainbow or Claire's or icing or anything like that, right? I'm going and buying me diamonds, right? And I'm dead ass, right? Um, so, and believe it or not, you can get my, again, not just giving y'all my, not without giving y'all my budget, but I'm not spending on high priced items. I'm spending on the quality of the item, if that makes sense. So with jewelry, depending on where you go, you're naturally going to get a better quality than you would if you went to Rainbow or whatever, right? Now, Walmart, you can go to Walmart and buy a good, decent pair of earrings that are going to last you a lifetime, right? People don't, I mean, I don't know. My dad shopped at Walmart for jewelry, so I don't know if y'all know about that, but they do got decent jewelry, right? Macy's, JC Penney, stuff like that. But I have been building myself. So I only shop at certain jewelry stores, specifically jeweler stores, okay? And every year I've committed to two pieces of jewelry, right? So one Christmas was at the Christmas before last, or excuse me, the Christmas before last Valentine's Day. I bought me a opal jewelry set, right? Earrings, a necklace, all that, right? Valentine's Day, I bought me diamonds. I bought me a jewelry set as well. This year, I said, you know what? It's very imperative for me to spend a higher dollar amount on one piece of jewelry than I did the year prior. So this year, I was able to buy one piece. Well, I'm probably going to end up buying two or three or four. I say, well, this year, I'll probably end up buying two. um but I'm spending a higher dollar amount on the item, right? So I have this thing with myself where it's very imperative, like I said, every year that I yet level up no matter what. And I feel like going out, going to the mall. Normally I'll go home and be in the house, but tonight I went to the mall. I have Christmas shopping to do anyway. Got some of what the kid wanted for Christmas, but it did boost my spirits up a little bit. Obviously, I've got my bottle of champagne, so that always helps. But y'all, I've been feeling like shit all day. And I think part of it is because I'm not used to living a life that is just peaceful. I'm not. So that's all I got to say, y'all. That's where I'm at right now. That's my check in, right? That's exactly what I'm feeling right now. You guys are just getting the end of the stick where it's like, okay, girl, you didn't had a shot and a glass of champagne. You should be at least loopy enough to feel good, right? So, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. With that being said, y'all, I'm out. Peace.